Good morning, guys. Today we're going to talk about lesson 18.2. If you can print out these notes, it's a lot easier for you to fill it in with me as we go. If not, that's okay. But if you can, it sure does help. Lesson 18.2 is going to talk about your credit history, credit reports, your debt to income ratio, and things like that. So some important things to know: your credit history. This has information about how well you manage your money and how well you pay back your debts. So this is used by lenders, like banks, to see if they should loan money to you.
Like Credit Karma, right?
Like Credit Karma.
Like Credit Karma.
Credit Karma is looks to see what your credit report is, your credit history. Anyway, establishing a credit history. You would need to take out a small loan or buy something with a credit and not with cash. So right now, you guys don't have a credit history because you've not taken out a loan and you don't have a credit card. But you have to do those things to establish or to get a credit history. And then you have to pay back your debt until it's all paid off. That would establish your credit history. So let's look at this example here. It says Ralph's older brother has applied for a bank loan to buy a jet ski. Each statement below tells something about the brother's credit history. Decide whether the bank would regard each statement as a positive or as a negative factor in deciding whether to approve the loan application. So if Raphael, if he pays his credit card balance monthly and on time, is that a positive or a negative? Well, that's a good thing. He's paying off his debt. He's doing it on time. That's great. What about he recently lost his job and is looking for work? Well, that would be a negative because now he doesn't have any income to pay his debts. What about is currently repaying student loans and a loan to start a business? Well, this is a negative too because it shows that he already has a bunch of money that he owes. So to give him another loan could be dangerous. So that's a negative. And finally, he answered all the questions on his application honestly, even those that reflected poorly on his past credit history. Well, the lenders will appreciate his honesty, so that's a positive. Now, another thing you need to know is something called a credit report. This is compiled by agencies to help lenders decide whether or not to loan you money. So your credit report will have things like your credit history, your employment background, so all the places you've worked and for how long you worked there. Your income, so what money you're making. Personal information like address, social security, that kind of stuff. Any loans or credit cards that you have, whether you pay your bills on time or not. And all of this will last for 7 years. So if you do something negative, like pay late on your debt, then that information will stay on there for 7 years. Okay, so let's look at some more examples here. So here's some information, and we're trying to decide what it would go on under our credit report. Is it employment information, personal information, or is it credit history? So she lives at 4316 Woodland Road in Yellowstone, Texas. Well, that right there is just personal information. That's where she lives. She has a credit card and has a 19.95% annual interest rate. Well, that would be credit history. She currently has a balance of $1,956 on her credit card. That would be credit history. Her social security number is, that would be personal information. She has a checking account and a savings account at Yellowstone Bank. That's also going to be personal information. From 2010 to 2012, her annual earnings were and she's working part-time at Egan's Grocery. So that's going to be her employment. And she was 1 week late on her May 2012 credit card payment. So that's going to be her credit history. Again, notice up here, all negative credit information stays for 7 years on that credit report. All right, credit scores. Credit scores are information in your credit report, It's used to calculate this score, which is used by lenders to see if you qualify for a loan or not. They are generally between 300 and 850. So a high score is good. If you have a high credit score, that means you probably pay all your bills on time. That means you have a low ratio of debt to income. Means you have a good work record. And that means you can get a loan or a credit card with a low interest rate. If your low score is not good, a low score is not good. So if you have a low score, that usually means you have a lot of things that you pay late. You have a really high ratio of debt to income. You are on the job a short amount of time, or you job jump a lot. And if you can get a loan, and that's a big capital if you can get a loan or a credit card, you're going to get it with a really high interest rate. All right, now let's check out these 4 examples. So the first one says to match the credit score with the credit history. So who do you think is going to get the 760 score, and who do you think is going to get the 600 score? So let's look at this one here. This person has a monthly income of $1,900. So that's how much money they make every month. They have a credit card balance, so that's what they owe, of $48. They have another credit card balance of $3,857. They have a car loan payment of $218, and they've made 2 late car loan payments. Well, that's pretty crummy little history there. So let's look at this one. They have a monthly income of $3,300, so that's more than the other person made a month. They have a credit card balance, but they pay it off in full every month. That's great. They do have a student loan payment of $100 a month, but this right here is an excellent history. So this person's going to get the higher score of 760. This person over here would have a lower score of 600 because they've got a lot of debt and late payments. All right. Let's look at this one here. Who's going to make the 700 and who's going to make the 620? So looking at this one has a monthly income of $3,200, a credit card payment of $151, another credit card payment of $61, and a car loan payment of $365, and 3 late credit card payments. Again, kind of a crummy history there. Let's look at this one. They have a monthly income of $2,800, a student loan payment of $140, a car loan payment of $276. They pay their credit card balance off in full every month, so that's great, and they have no late payments. Definitely this is the better history. So this is the one we would give 700 to, and this is the one we would get 620 to. All right, last thing we're going to look at is something called debt to income ratio. This compares the monthly debt to the monthly income. So how much you owe compared to how much you make. So we're going to look at Dina and Ariel. All right, so Dina has a monthly income of $3,200. She's been at her job for 8 months. She has debt payments of $350 on a car, $180 on a credit card, and $300 on a student loan. And she has 3 times that she's been late on her credit card payment. So to calculate her debt to income ratio, we're going to put the debt on top. So the debt is $350 that she owes on the car, plus $180 that she owes on the credit card, plus the $300 that she owes on her student loan. So that's the debt on top. The bottom is what she makes. It's her income. And it said that she made $3,200. So that's how we set it up. Then we're going to simplify by adding up all the debt. So altogether, she owes $830, and she only makes $3,200 a month. So to calculate this, we're going to turn this into a percentage. So we're going to start by turning this fraction into a decimal. So we're going to put the cowboy in the house. Horse goes outside. I can't divide 3,000 into 800, so I've got to add my decimal zeros. When I calculate this out, I end up getting 0.259. Now that's the decimal, but I want it as a percent. So to turn it into a percent, remember you move the decimal back to the right 2 places. So I would end up getting 25.9%. That is Dina's debt to income payment or percent. So now let's check out Ariel's. So again, we're going to start with Ariel's debt. It'll go on top. Ariel only has one thing. She owes $45. But she makes $2,250. So again, we're going to turn this fraction into a decimal and then convert the decimal to a percent. So we're going to take the 45 and we're going to divide it by 2,250. Add my decimal zeros. When I calculate that out, I get 0.02. 0.02 is my decimal. So let's convert it now to a percent by moving the decimal over 2 places. So now that turns it into 2%. So she has a really low, L-O-W, really low debt to income ratio. Over here, Dina has a really high debt to income ratio. So which one of these ladies is probably more likely to get the loan?
The mermaid.
The mermaid, Amber says, yes. Ariel wins. All right, guys, that's what we're going to be doing today on lesson 18.2. Holler if I can help you. All right, bye.